The massive alien ship hung silently in the darkness beyond Mars, its metallic surface reflecting the distant sunlight. Inside the command center, Supreme Commander Marcus studied the holographic display of Earth with cold, calculating eyes. His species had long since replaced their original names with human designations, believing it would make their eventual conquest more efficient. "Primitive," he muttered, his translator converting his natural clicking sounds into comprehensible speech. No planetary shields, no space-based weapon systems, not even a unified defense network. He turned to his second-in-command. "These humans still fight among themselves for resources and territory." The scanning officer, who had taken the name Reed, brought up more detailed images of Earth's military installations. "Commander, their most advanced weapons appear to be simple chemical-propelled projectiles and crude nuclear devices. They haven't even established permanent bases beyond their moon." Marcus felt something close to pity for the humans. The collective had conquered 12 solar systems in the past decade alone, each more advanced than this one. Earth would be their easiest victory yet. "Look at these transmissions," Reed said, displaying intercepted television and radio signals. "They spend their time creating fictional stories about alien invasions. They're practically children playing war games." The command center erupted in what humans would recognize as laughter. The aliens had studied Earth's broadcasts for months, analyzing everything from military communications to entertainment media. They found it amusing how humans imagined space warfare, all flashing lights and impossible maneuvers that defied physics. "Begin the invasion preparation," Marcus ordered. "Standard protocol. 3 waves. First wave targets their military installations, second wave eliminates government centers, and third wave secures population zones." He paused, looking at the blue planet again. "No need for our heavy weaponry. Basic plasma cannons will be sufficient." The invasion fleet assembled behind Mars, using the red planet's bulk to shield them from Earth's primitive detection systems. 500 ships, each carrying enough firepower to level a small city, moved into formation. It was overkill, but the collective believed in overwhelming force. "Sir," Reed called out, "I'm detecting something unusual in their communications." "Explain," Marcus commanded, moving to Reed's station. "Their military channels are too quiet. Given their usual chatter, they should be more active." Reed adjusted some controls. "And their civilian networks are carrying an unusually high volume of cat videos and social media posts about food." Marcus dismissed the concern with a wave of his upper appendage. "They're primitive, not stupid. They probably haven't even detected us yet. Their strongest telescopes can barely see the surface of Mars clearly." Down on Earth, in a bunker deep beneath the Rocky Mountains, General Thompson stared at a classified screen showing exactly what was hiding behind Mars. The room was filled with military officers from 20 different nations, all watching in silence. "How long have they been there?" asked a British admiral. "We detected their first scout ships 3 years ago," Thompson replied, his voice steady. "They're using Mars as cover, thinking we can't see them." He allowed himself a small smile. "Just as we planned." A Russian general nodded approvingly. "Our satellites, still transmitting cat videos and social media feeds on all observable frequencies." Thompson pressed a button, bringing up another screen. "Underground bases are fully staffed. Orbital platforms remain in sleep mode. Project Thunderbolt is ready." The room grew quiet as they watched more alien ships join the invasion fleet. Years of secret preparation were about to be tested. Humanity had learned long ago that appearing weak could be the greatest strength. In space, Supreme Commander Marcus gave the final order. "Begin the invasion. Let's show these humans what real space warfare looks like." Behind him, Reed continued to analyze the strange patterns in Earth's communications, unable to shake the feeling that something wasn't quite right. But he said nothing. After all, what could a species that still used fossil fuels possibly do against the might of the collective? The invasion fleet began its advance toward Earth, their sensors detecting no changes in the planet's defense posture. They expected fear, panic, and chaos. Instead, they found only silence and cat videos. The trap was set. Both sides thought they had the upper hand. Only one was right. The alien fleet crossed the orbit of Mars, their engines glowing softly against the black of space. In their wake, the red planet seemed to shimmer briefly, though none of the alien sensors noticed this unusual effect. On Earth, deep within the mountain bunker, General Thompson watched as hidden sensors transmitted data about the approaching fleet. "They're moving exactly as predicted," he said, addressing the room of international military leaders. "Their formation suggests they're still following standard invasion protocols." A large screen showed the alien ships' positions, each one marked with a glowing dot. The display looked remarkably similar to the war games humanity had been secretly running for the past 3 years. "What about Project Mirror?" asked the French commander, her eyes fixed on the screen. Thompson nodded to a young technician in the corner. "Show them." The screen split, revealing a new image. The surface of Mars rippled again, but this time they could see why. Hundreds of tiny satellites, painted in the same red as the Martian soil, emerged from their hiding places on the planet's surface. Each one was smaller than a car, but packed with sensors and transmitters. 3 years of work, Thompson explained. While they watched our TV shows and studied our primitive technology, we studied them. Every ship in their fleet has been scanned, analyzed, and mapped. In space, Supreme Commander Marcus reviewed the final invasion plans. "Status report," he commanded. Reed brought up a holographic display. "Earth's militaries remain unaware of our presence. Their radar systems show no signs of detecting us. Their space agencies continue to focus on their primitive Mars rovers." He paused, checking another reading. "Though there is something odd." "What now?" Marcus asked, irritation clear in his voice. "Their power usage patterns have changed. Major cities are drawing less power than usual, but we're detecting small spikes in remote areas." Reed adjusted the display. "It's probably nothing. Their power grid is notoriously inefficient." Marcus dismissed the concern. "They waste energy on pointless light displays and entertainment. Focus on the invasion checkpoints." Back on Earth, in remote locations across the globe, those power spikes had a purpose. Underground bases, hidden in mountains and deserts, hummed with activity. Weapons systems that had never appeared in any public record powered up. Soldiers and pilots who officially didn't exist manned stations that weren't supposed to be real. In the Pacific Ocean, a seemingly ordinary cargo ship dropped its fake containers, revealing a sophisticated radar array. Similar transformations happened across the world's oceans as the civilian fleet revealed its true nature. "Sir," a technician called out in the mountain bunker, "the alien fleet has passed the lunar orbit. They'll be in range in 2 hours." Thompson turned to the assembled leaders. "Time to begin Phase 2. He pressed a button on his console, sending a coded signal across the globe. In orbit, dozens of satellites that appeared to be simple communication relays began to change. Solar panels folded away, revealing weapon ports. Weather monitoring equipment transformed into targeting systems. The alien scans still showed nothing but normal civilian satellites, thanks to years of careful planning and advanced cloaking technology. "All orbital platforms report ready," announced the British admiral. "Stealth systems holding steady. The enemy still sees exactly what we want them to see." On the alien command ship, Reed continued to feel uneasy. Something about Earth's response didn't match their historical data. "Commander, I recommend we run a deeper scan of their orbital infrastructure." Marcus laughed. "You're being paranoid. Look at their satellites, primitive communication devices, and weather monitors. Their most advanced technology is that small space station they're so proud of." He gestured at the holographic display. "In 2 hours, this will all be over." As if in response, another wave of cat videos began broadcasting from Earth, along with social media posts about a new popular dance trend. The aliens' communication analysts noted this as further proof of humanity's frivolous nature. In the mountain bunker, Thompson watched the alien fleets approach. "Send the final coded message to all stations," he ordered. "Operation Sleeping Giant is now active." Across Earth, hidden forces waited silently. The aliens thought they were springing a trap on a defenseless world. They didn't realize they were flying into one instead. Supreme Commander Marcus stood at his command center, watching Earth grow larger in the main display. "Begin the first wave," he ordered. "Target their largest military installations." 200 alien ships broke formation, their weapon systems humming to life. Green plasma beams shot toward Earth, lighting up space like artificial auroras. Marcus smiled, expecting to see explosions as the beams hit their targets. Instead, something unexpected happened. The plasma beams hit Earth's atmosphere and scattered. What should have been devastating strikes turned into harmless light shows across the sky. "Impossible," Reed shouted, checking his instruments. "The atmosphere is deflecting our plasma weapons." Marcus slammed his appendage against his command console. "Explain." "They're pollution," Reed said in disbelief. "Centuries of industrial emissions have created a layer in their atmosphere that disperses energy weapons. They've accidentally created a planetary shield." On Earth, General Thompson watched the light show from his bunker. "Just as our scientists predicted," he said. "Their energy weapons are useless against our dirty atmosphere. Sometimes humanity's biggest mistakes become our greatest advantages." The alien fleet paused, recalibrating their weapons. Marcus growled in frustration. "Launch the fighters. We'll strike from within the atmosphere." 5,000 small fighter craft descended toward Earth. They looked like swarms of metallic insects against the blue sky. As they entered the atmosphere, their sensors detected no resistance, no aircraft rising to meet them. Then the civilian satellites moved. Communication arrays transformed into rail guns. Weather monitoring dishes became laser targeting systems. Within seconds, the sky was filled with streams of hypervelocity rounds, each one made from simple tungsten, but moving at speeds that turned them into devastating weapons. Evasive action. Marcus screamed, but it was too late. The alien fighters had been caught completely by surprise. Their advanced shields, designed to stop energy weapons, proved useless against simple metal slugs moving at orbital speeds. "Multiple contacts," Reed shouted as his display lit up with new warnings. Energy signatures rising from the ground. Across Earth, hidden bunkers opened. Artillery pieces that the aliens had dismissed as primitive suddenly revealed their true nature. They weren't firing simple explosive shells. They were launching smart munitions filled with tiny drones. The drones were basic by alien standards, too simple to be detected as threats. But they worked perfectly. Swarms of them surrounded the alien fighters, their simple programming making them impossible to hack or jam. "This is impossible," Marcus said, watching hundreds of his fighters fall from the sky. "Their technology. It's all wrong. Too simple to be effective. Yet—" "Sir," Reed interrupted, detecting massive energy spikes from their oceans. The cargo ships that had dropped their fake containers now revealed their true purpose. Giant electromagnetic pulse generators powered up, their designs based on technology that aliens had considered obsolete centuries ago. The pulses shot skyward, invisible but devastating. Alien ships, dependent on their advanced electronics, began to lose power. Their shields flickered and died. Their weapons went dark. "How?" Marcus demanded. "How did they know to build weapons that could bypass our defenses?" In the mountain bunker, Thompson allowed himself a small smile. "Launch the second phase," he ordered. Military bases that appeared primitive on alien scans suddenly transformed. Underground hangars opened, revealing aircraft that had been hidden from alien sensors. They weren't the sleek, advanced ships the aliens expected. Instead, they were robust, practical machines built to fight with simple but effective weapons. Their entire military, Reed realized with horror, it's all been a deception. Everything we scanned, everything we saw, was exactly what we wanted you to see, Thompson said, though the aliens couldn't hear him. Humanity learned long ago that the best weapon is the one your enemy doesn't believe exists. As the alien fleet struggled to regroup, more surprises emerged from Earth. Every weakness the aliens had counted on turned out to be a carefully crafted lie. Every primitive system revealed itself to be a hidden strength. The first wave of the alien invasion had failed completely, and Earth was just getting started. After their failed first strike, the alien fleet scattered across Earth's sky, seeking less defended areas to establish ground bases. Supreme Commander Marcus paced in his command center, his pride wounded but his determination intact. "We still have superior numbers," he declared. "Begin ground operations in these locations." He pointed to several spots on the global map, mostly remote areas away from major military installations. What the aliens didn't know was that these remote areas were far from empty. Deep beneath the Wyoming countryside, in an old Cold War bunker, Colonel Adams watched alien troops land through an advanced periscope system. "Just like the general said they would," he muttered into his radio. "They're choosing the quiet spots." The bunker was one of hundreds built during the Cold War and supposedly abandoned decades ago. In reality, they had been maintained and upgraded in secret, forming a vast underground network that spanned continents. "All stations, report in," Adams commanded. One by one, underground bases across the world responded. From the Australian outback to the Siberian tundra, from the Sahara Desert to the Amazon rainforest, everywhere the aliens thought they were landing in empty wilderness, hidden human forces waited. On the alien command ship, Reed studied the ground reports with growing frustration. "Commander, something is wrong. We're establishing bases successfully, but what?" Marcus demanded. "Our supplies keep disappearing. Equipment malfunctions. Communications get scrambled." Reed brought up a map showing dozens of small incidents. "It's like we're being haunted." Marcus growled. "These are primitive humans with primitive weapons. Find them." But finding the resistance proved impossible. The aliens searched for large bases, advanced power signatures, and modern communications. Instead, humanity used simple, proven methods. Underground tunnels connected bunkers that didn't appear on any public maps. Messages passed through old copper wire telephone systems that the aliens considered too primitive to monitor. In the Mountain Command Center, General Thompson coordinated the global resistance. "Status report from all sectors," he ordered. The reports came in. In Siberia, Russian special forces emerged from hidden ice caves to sabotage alien communications. In the Sahara, French Foreign Legion units, long disbanded according to official records, used the endless desert tunnels to stage hit-and-run attacks. In the Amazon, Brazilian troops moved through river networks that didn't appear on any satellite maps. "Sir," a technician called out, "the aliens are trying to establish a major base in the Australian outback." Thompson smiled. "Right where we predicted. Signal the Australians. Operation Kangaroo is go." In the Australian desert, alien troops constructed their base, confident in their superior technology. Their sensors showed nothing but empty desert for hundreds of miles. They didn't detect the network of tunnels beneath their feet, dug decades ago and stocked with supplies and weapons. As night fell, the resistance struck. Underground doors opened silently. Australian Special Forces, their existence erased from official records, emerged wearing simple but effective gear. Their weapons weren't fancy, just reliable tools chosen because they could work without complex electronics that aliens could detect. The alien base never stood a chance. By morning, it was in human hands, its occupants captured or fled, its technology being studied by scientists who had trained for years for this moment. On the command ship, Marcus received the news with rage. How? How are they doing this? Where are they hiding? Reed's voice was quiet. "Sir, I think we made a mistake. We looked for advanced technology, modern defenses. He paused. "We never considered that their old bunkers, their abandoned facilities, their primitive communications, it was all still active, still useful." In the mountain bunker, Thompson reviewed the latest victories. The aliens had superior technology, but humans had something better. Decades of paranoia that had led them to build backup systems for their backup systems. The Cold War had taught humanity to always be ready, to always have a hidden card to play. "Send word to all sectors," Thompson ordered. "Phase 3 begins at dawn." The aliens thought they were fighting a primitive military. Instead, they were facing the combined knowledge of centuries of human warfare, hidden behind a carefully crafted mask of weakness. And humanity was just getting warmed up. General Thompson stood in the mountain bunker, watching the global display. The time had come. "Begin Phase 3, he commanded. "Activate all quantum systems." Across the globe, in deep underground facilities, technicians powered up machines that had never appeared on any public record. These weren't the simple computers the aliens had detected. These were quantum computers, kept off the main power grid and hidden behind layers of security. In space, Supreme Commander Marcus was getting desperate. Half his ground forces were under constant attack from an enemy they couldn't find. His fleet was still recovering from the electromagnetic pulses. Then suddenly, his ship's systems began to flicker. "What's happening?" he demanded. Reed's eyes widened as new signals appeared on his screen. "Impossible. They're hacking our systems. But the codes, they're changing faster than our computers can respond." On Earth, the quantum computers worked their magic. While conventional computers would have taken years to break alien encryption, these machines did it in seconds. Every alien ship, every piece of their technology, suddenly became an open book. "Sir," a technician called to Thompson, "all quantum systems report ready. Orbital platforms moving into attack position." The aliens watched in horror as Earth's primitive satellites revealed their true nature. What they had thought were simple communication relays transformed into a coordinated network of space-based weapons. Each one had been disguised, its true purpose hidden behind fake parts and false signals. Marcus stared at his failing systems. How did they hide all this? In the mountain bunker, Thompson gave his next order. "Launch the drones." From hidden silos, thousands of drones took to the sky. They weren't the advanced eye-controlled machines the aliens expected. Instead, they were simple, robust craft running on basic programming that the aliens couldn't hack or jam. "Their technology," Reed said, his voice shaking. "It's not primitive at all. They deliberately kept it simple, kept it hidden." The drones swarmed around alien ships, their simple weapons proving devastatingly effective. Alien shields, designed to stop advanced energy weapons, had no defense against basic explosives and kinetic impacts. "Show them everything," Thompson ordered. Across Earth, humanity's true technological capability revealed itself. Power plants that had appeared to be running on fossil fuels showed their real fusion cores. Factories that seemed to produce cars and trucks had actually been manufacturing advanced weapons and armor. In orbit, more surprises emerged. Chunks of space debris that the aliens had ignored suddenly moved, revealing themselves as disguised weapon platforms. Every piece of space junk they had dismissed became a threat. It was all a deception. Marcus realized too late. Everything we scanned, everything we saw, was exactly what we wanted you to see, Thompson said, watching the alien fleet's disarray. Humanity learned long ago that the best defense isn't just strength. It's making your enemy underestimate you. The quantum computers continued their work, turning the aliens' own technology against them. Ships lost power. Weapons systems shut down. Communication networks fell silent. In desperation, Marcus ordered his remaining ships to retreat to higher orbit. But even there, they found no safety. Earth's hidden defenses reached far into space, each layer of protection revealing itself only when needed. "All orbital platforms report ready," an officer told Thompson. The aliens are surrounded. Thompson nodded. Send the message. Across every frequency, in every language the aliens had used to study Earth, a single message broadcast. You thought us primitive. You thought us weak. You thought our divisions made us vulnerable. You were wrong. This is humanity's true face. You have 1 hour to surrender. In his command ship, Marcus watched his mighty fleet fall apart under the assault of weapons he hadn't believed possible. Everything he had thought he knew about Earth had been wrong. Their apparent weakness had been their greatest weapon. The counterattack wasn't just successful, it was a revelation. Humanity hadn't just prepared for alien invasion. They had turned their entire planet into a trap, waiting patiently for the day someone would underestimate them. That day had finally come. The alien fleet hung in space, surrounded by Earth's revealed defenses. Supreme Commander Marcus had 1 hour to surrender, but his pride wouldn't let him accept defeat so easily. Launch all remaining fighters, he ordered. We still have superior numbers. Reed looked at him in disbelief. Sir, we don't know what other weapons they're hiding. But Marcus wouldn't listen. The remaining alien ships moved into attack formation, preparing for one final assault. They still had thousands of ships, each armed with advanced weapons. Surely, they thought, humanity must have revealed all their secrets by now. They were wrong. In the mountain bunker, General Thompson watched the alien fleet's movement. They're not surrendering, he said calmly. Initiate Project Phoenix. Across Earth's oceans, something strange began to happen. Hundreds of civilian cargo ships, tankers, and fishing boats suddenly stopped their normal activities. Crews evacuated in small boats as the vessel's outer shells began to split apart. What are they doing? Marcus demanded, watching the transformation. The answer came quickly. Those civilian ships had been more than they appeared. Each one had been built with a hidden purpose, their ordinary functions disguising their true nature. As their outer shells fell away, they revealed missile launchers, energy weapons, and defense systems that had been hiding in plain sight. Earth's merchant fleet, Reed whispered. They turned their entire civilian fleet into weapon platforms. Thompson's voice came over all frequencies. You see only what's on the surface. Look deeper. At that moment, the oceans themselves seemed to come alive. What the aliens had detected as simple underwater research stations revealed themselves as massive submarine bases. Vessels that had appeared to be primitive nuclear submarines showed their true forms. Advanced underwater carriers armed with weapons the aliens had never imagined possible. In his command center, Thompson gave another order. Release the swarms. From every transformed ship, from every hidden base, thousands of small drones emerged. But these weren't military drones. They were modified civilian models, the kind used for package delivery and photography. Simple, cheap, and incredibly numerous. They're not even armed. Marcus laughed desperately. His laughter died as the swarms of drones surrounded his ships. Each drone carried a tiny electromagnetic pulse generator. Individually, they were harmless. Together, they created a web of energy that shut down alien systems one by one. Our shields. Reed shouted. They're using our own power systems against us. The aliens had built their defenses to stop powerful weapons. They never expected to be defeated by thousands of simple devices working together. But Earth wasn't finished. From hidden silos in deserts, mountains, and forests, new weapons emerged. They weren't the advanced energy cannons or plasma beams the aliens expected. Instead, they were simple railguns. Technology the aliens had abandoned centuries ago as too primitive. Kinetic bombardment commencing, a technician reported to Thompson. The railguns fired, sending simple metal rods into space at incredible speeds. The aliens' remaining shields, designed to stop energy weapons, proved useless against these basic projectiles. How? Marcus asked, watching his fleet fall apart. How did you hide all this? Thompson's reply was broadcast to all alien ships. We hid it the same way we've always hidden our strengths, behind a mask of simplicity. You looked for advanced technology, for powerful energy signatures. You never thought to look for simple solutions used in clever ways. The alien fleet's formation broke. Ships began to retreat in chaos as more of Earth's hidden weapons revealed themselves. Every civilian satellite, every space station module, every piece of space debris suddenly showed its true purpose. In the mountain bunker, an officer approached Thompson. "Sir, the aliens are running. Should we pursue?" Thompson shook his head. "No. Let them go. Let them tell others what they found here." He looked at the display showing the retreating alien ships. "Let them tell the galaxy that Earth's greatest weapon isn't our technology or our weapons." "What is our greatest weapon, sir?" "Our ability to make our enemies underestimate us," Thompson replied, watching the last alien ships flee. They came expecting to find a primitive world. Instead, they found a planet that had turned itself into one giant trap. The hidden arsenal had done its work. Earth's true strength had been revealed, and the galaxy would never see humanity the same way again. Supreme Commander Marcus stood alone in his command center, watching the remnants of his once mighty fleet retreat from Earth. The holographic displays showed the full extent of their defeat. Hundreds of ships disabled, thousands of troops captured, and Earth's defenses still standing strong. "Commander," Reed's voice came through the ship's communication system. "The humans are sending another message." On the main screen, General Thompson's face appeared. The human leader looked calm, almost gentle, despite his victory. "You're probably wondering how long we knew about you," he said. Marcus felt his pride crumble. "How?" was all he could ask. "We detected your first scout ships 3 years ago," Thompson explained. "Not with our visible telescopes or public radar stations, but with a network of quantum sensors disguised as deep space research equipment." In the mountain bunker, Thompson walked among his staff as he continued speaking to the alien commander. "We watched you study us. We saw how you analyze our television shows, our public communications, our visible military forces, and we let you see exactly what we wanted you to see." "Impossible," Marcus whispered. "The collective has conquered 12 systems. Our intelligence is perfect." "Your intelligence," Thompson corrected, "was based on what we showed you. Those TV shows about alien invasions, we made more of them on purpose, filled with fake weaknesses and wrong information about our capabilities." Reed's voice broke in. "Sir, I'm detecting energy signatures. They're coming from behind the moon." New holographic images appeared, showing massive human space stations that had been hidden behind Earth's moon. They weren't primitive constructions. They were advanced manufacturing facilities and defensive platforms, concealed from the aliens' initial scans. "You see," Thompson continued, "Earth learned something important during our Cold War. Sometimes, the best way to protect a secret isn't to hide it completely. It's to hide it in plain sight, surrounded by distractions and false information." In space, more revelations emerged. The International Space Station, which the aliens had dismissed as primitive, shed its outer shell to reveal a sophisticated command center. Debris fields that had appeared to be space junk transformed into defensive networks. "But why?" Marcus asked. "Why pretend to be weak?" Thompson smiled. "Because we needed to know who our neighbors were. What better way to learn about someone's true nature than to let them think you're helpless? You showed us exactly what you would do to a seemingly defenseless world." In the mountain bunker, officers from around the world gathered around Thompson. Russian generals stood next to American admirals. Chinese commanders worked alongside European officers. The divisions that the aliens had counted on had been just another part of the deception. "We're sending you home now," Thompson said. "And you're going to deliver a message to the collective for us." Marcus watched as human ships, real warships, not the hidden defensive platforms, emerged from concealed bases on Mars and the Moon. They weren't countless in number, but their design showed a level of technology that rivaled or exceeded the collective's best ships. "Tell them that Earth isn't the primitive world they thought we were," Thompson continued. Tell them we're not helpless, or divided, or weak. Tell them that if they want to talk, to trade, to build diplomatic relations, they're welcome, but if they come looking for conquest. He let the sentence hang as more of Earth's hidden capabilities revealed themselves. Bases on asteroids, defensive platforms in the Kuiper Belt, a network of surveillance systems stretching to the edge of the solar system. One more thing, Thompson added. Next time, just knock. We'll answer the door. As the alien fleet retreated beyond Mars, they passed the hidden satellites that had monitored their arrival months ago. They passed automated defense platforms disguised as comets. They passed all the layers of protection that humanity had built in secret over the years. Marcus looked back at the blue planet one last time. They had come expecting to find a primitive world ready for conquest. Instead, they had found something far more dangerous, a civilization that had mastered the art of looking weak while being strong. The message would spread across the galaxy. Earth was not to be underestimated. Behind its seemingly primitive exterior lay a world that had turned deception into an art form and patience into a weapon. The stars waited silently for humanity's next move. This time, they would be ready.